It looks like PS3 emulation has had a big breakthrough this year, so let's talk about it. For years, people have talked about how the PS3 might not be able to be emulated because, well, the parts of it were just really weird. But ever since the team found a missing piece back in April of this year in 2026, that has actually led to a lot of breakthroughs and even an actual improvement from then till now being July in 2026. So the first question is going to be, so why was the PS3 so hard to emulate? The PS3 uses a special brain called the Cell processor, and most game consoles use one big brain to handle everything. But the Cell had one big part and then a bunch of smaller parts that assisted with it. And all these little parts had to talk to this thing non-stop in order for it to work. And getting a PC to copy how all of these parts talk and to do that efficiently and quickly is the biggest thing that made it so hard to emulate. Now, on April 23rd of 2026, the RPSC3 team posted big news on their social media. Their lead developer, known as Elad, had found a pattern. He looked at how all the games would use those smaller helper parts and then found a way to turn that into code that your PC can load much more faster. It's kind of like the equivalent of like finding a shortcut in your street as opposed to just sitting in line in traffic all the time. And because that little finding is one of the more basic things that they need to figure out, this actually made a genuine improvement. Twisted Metal is one of those games that really pushes those smaller parts to its max, and it actually made a 5 to 7% improvement once he implemented the change. And while that may not seem like a huge improvement, let's think of the bigger picture, right? So back in January, you could play PS3 games, but you can run about like 70% of them that would run efficiently or at least playable. And then days after that April finding, it went from 70% up to 74%. And as of July 14th in 2026, which is just a few days ago from this recording, RPCS3 just hit 75%. That means 3 out of every 4 PS3 emulated games can run from start to finish. And remember, this is on a project that a lot of people did not think would ever be able to be possible, let alone be able to do this on your computer. Like, that's a huge game library to be able to play on your computer. And I would strongly advise at this point, if you actually use PCS3 and there's a game that you've been wanting to see if it worked, or maybe it stuttered before, try it now. See if it actually works on the game that you want to play. But let me reiterate that PS3 emulation is not solved yet. We waited basically 6 months for a 5% improvement, but again, that 5% was improvement enough that 3 out of every 4 games work. So while we still got to figure out that extra 25%, and I'm sure at some point and someday the emulators are going to work and the developers are going to figure it out, but just knowing that this kind of improvement is still being made, it's pretty exciting. Now let us know down in the comment section if there's any games that you're going to play on RPCS3, or at least a game that you notice does have an incremental improvement. I don't think I've used this in a long time, so I wouldn't know what I would try. But as long as I can play Sly Cooper and Jack and Dexter, I'm kind of good. That's mainly the games that I really want to play on PS3. But let us know down in the comment section, subscribe if you're new, like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.